And now I'd just like to say that, start the talk with saying that it's easy for us to love those who love us. But the real task on the spiritual walk is to become skillful enough to love even those who are hating you, who are criticizing you, who are ridiculing you, and who are unkind to you. Don't worry about, whether other people are loving you. That's not your problem, that's their problem. I think it was Wayne Dyer who said how people respond to you is their karma, how you respond to them is yours. So we're not here to worry about what other people think of us. We're not here to worry about whether other people are loving us or not. Again, that is on them, that is on their problem. If they're sowing dissension or speaking unkindly behind our backs, that's not for our concern. Your only concern, our only concern, is whether you are or we are loving others. That is what we've been asked to do. And not loving them for the sake of good karma, or not loving them because we really seek anything in return, but only loving them for the sake of love itself, for a love that just wants to give of itself, that just wants to share of itself. God knows our hearts. Others don't. Others judge us based on external actions, so thank God we're not judged by others. When it comes to the bigger scheme of things, it's not what the outer example might be. Sometimes, what people do as an outer action might seem wrong, but the intention inside was coming from a place of deep love and selflessness. So thank God, God is judging our hearts. But if we can keep our love turned up enough, regardless of what other people say, do, or think, if we can keep our love turned on enough regardless of whether we get what we want or not, then we can free ourselves from who we think we are and allow our true essence, the altruistic love, to come through. We got to convince ourselves that love is more important than anything else. And that's what every spiritual path and teaching and teacher and wisdom figure has come to share, is that we need to turn up our love and cultivate that love for all beings everywhere. And the loving kindness practice is truly one that helps us to do that. As those of you who do come every week, we work through a series of people, starting from ourselves, moving out through a series of others, even to a difficult person, so that we can learn how to turn up our love and cultivate a love that is unconditional, and that we can radiate to all beings. And so let's get centered in our practice. So I invite you to begin by getting into any relaxed or comfortable position. Now, you're more than welcome to sit up, and if you are, just be a little bit mindful that you're sitting with your back straight. Sit in what is referred to as a dignified posture. But you're also more than welcome to lay down if you wish. And now let's just begin by taking a couple of deep, long breaths together. So I invite you to take a long, deep breath in. Slowly exhale or sigh your breath out. And take another long, deep breath in. Slowly exhale or sigh your breath out. And one more long, deep breath in. Slowly exhale or sigh your breath out. And now I invite you to just bring all your awareness and attention to the body. Breathe for a moment. Just notice the inhalation and the exhalation. Don't try to control or regulate your breath in any way. But just allow the breath to be however it is. Allow the moment to be however it is. And the only agreement you make with yourself is that whenever the mind wanders, you just gently and lovingly return yourself back to observing the breath. This part of the practice is helping us get a little bit more centered, a little bit more focused. It's bringing us in to connection with the true reality of life, which is this present moment. Because there really is no past and no future. They're gone. The past is gone. It's now a memory. The future hasn't come yet. All we have and all we live in is an eternal and unending present moment experience. And by coming back to the breath, we're coming back to this moment. And now I invite you to begin to expand your awareness out a little bit more. Move it away from the breath to now include your entire being, include your entire self. We begin the loving kindness practice with ourself. And so we're going to offer a little bit of loving energy towards us. We're going to turn it inwards. And so while keeping your awareness upon yourself, please silently repeat, or if you're alone, I always say you can softly or gently whisper and recite these statements after me. May all be, focus on yourself. And the first one is, I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. And now please take a couple of moments to continue to offer yourself your own loving kindness by continuing to offer yourself those well wishes. There are some people who sometimes find starting this practice with giving a little bit of attention and love to ourselves is a little bit difficult. Sometimes we don't think we're worthy of the love and attention. But if we don't love ourselves, who will? And we start with ourselves because we can't truly love another if we don't love ourselves, and we can't give away what we don't have. And so just keep your awareness upon yourself. And if you're finding it a little bit difficult, you can put a smile on your face while you do the practice. That does help us to feel a little bit more loving, uplifted. And so just try to keep your awareness upon you and just offer yourself those phrases. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. And now we're going to begin to now send our loving kindness outwards through a series of people. And so turning the energy away from ourselves, I'm going to ask you now to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, or visualize in any way you can someone you love dearly. Just try to call to mind somebody you love a lot. Try to see them in your mind's eye. And now you're going to offer your loving kindness to them, and there's one of two ways you can do this. You can either think about this person you love a lot and just simply begin by saying, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. Otherwise, if you wish to personalize it a little bit more, you can insert his or her name into the statements and say, may he or she be loved. May he or she be happy. May he or she be healthy. May he or she be peaceful. And now take a couple of moments to try to offer your loving kindness to this person that you love dearly. Also noticing how the practice feels for you. Don't worry about how many times the mind may wander, or if you've noticed that you have a very busy mind this morning. Don't judge yourself for that. Don't let any mental chatter add on to what you're experiencing. So what I mean is, if you notice that the mind is very busy, you might notice that the mind often says, oh, so chaotic today. My mind is so restless. Why can't I calm it down? Or I'm a bad meditator, or this is hard. Just notice the way that the mind is. Just notice the way it's presenting itself. And no matter how many times the mind wanders away, just refocus on whoever we're focusing on in this part of the practice. And in this part, it's someone we love dearly. Call them back into your mind's eye, and then just start again. Don't worry about where you wandered off. Just start from the beginning with, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. You might find it very easy to generate this loving kindness towards this person you love dearly. And this is really how we want it to feel for all beings everywhere. That it's easy to generate and send out loving energy towards them, regardless of who they are. And that's the power of the practice, is helping us to cultivate unconditional, selfless love that doesn't ask if a person is worthy or not. That doesn't judge them for how they might be acting, but just gives of itself. And now next, I'm going to ask you to call to mind somebody you know who might be having a hard or a difficult time right now. And by a difficult time, this can be someone who's suffering mentally or emotionally, and there may be many people we know right now who are suffering in such a way. Maybe they've lost their job, or they're worried about future finances, how they're going to pay the bills. Or it can be someone who's suffering physically with a sickness, illness, or disease. just try to call to mind somebody you know who falls into this category. And now you're going to offer your loving kindness to them in the exact same way you did with the person you loved a lot. So you can either just think of this person who's suffering in some way and say, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. Or if you wish, again, to make it a little bit more intimate, you can insert the name of the person into the statements and say, may he or she be loved. May he or she be happy. May he or she be healthy. May he or she be peaceful. And again, a little reminder is to not make it feel sort of so mechanical or that it's just lip service. And as a way to try to bring the head and heart together, you can put a little smile on your face as you're doing the practice, which for many people does help them to feel a little bit more loving, a little bit more happy and uplifted. But if you find the smile is distracting, you don't have to utilize it, but Thich Nhat Hanh, one of the great Zen monks, often recommended when we do our practice, we should put a smile on our face so it doesn't come across as it's something we just have to do or some grim duty. So just continue thinking about this person who's going through some difficulty of some sort. And just continue to offer them the loving kindness. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And now we're going to be moving into the second half of the loving kindness practice, which for some people this part becomes a little bit more difficult, and this shows them where they have some work to do. And so for this next person, I invite you to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, or visualize in any way possible a neutral person. Now by neutral, it simply means someone you really have no feelings for, either good or bad. So there's no attachment in like a loving way towards them. You don't love them dearly. But on the other side of that, you don't dislike them or hate them in any way either. So there's no aversion towards the person. It's someone with whom there's no story attached. Someone you might not know much about. So sometimes it's hard to think about, a neutral person. So examples I do give is maybe there's a neighbor in your community or on your block or in your apartment complex that you've seen their face a few times, but you really know nothing about them. Or when you go out about your day, maybe you wave to them if they're passing their house or they're outside. Or it could be someone that you see quite regularly, maybe on a store that you visit, maybe a cashier or a manager that you know their face, but you really don't know anything about them. So try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can a neutral person now in your practice. And just try to offer them some loving kindness now. In the exact same way you did with the person you love dearly and who is having some difficulty. You probably don't know, or may not know their name. And so you could just use the may you be statements, think of this neutral person and say, may you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And again, explore yourself while you're doing the practice. And what I mean by that is, notice how it feels now with a neutral person. With this neutral person, a couple of things could be happening. One is still very easy for some of you to send out this loving kindness towards them because, again, there is no story attached to them. So we have no feelings for them, either good or bad. We just offer them this loving kindness very easily. Because since there's no story attached, it's very easy to generate this feeling for them. But for others, it could be the opposite. Because there's no story attached, we may notice our mind wanders a little bit more. It's harder to stay focused on the person. The feeling of the loving kindness or the intensity of the quality of the loving kindness isn't as strong. And that's all okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just giving you actually knowledge or experience to notice where you might have some work to do in the cultivation of true altruistic love. So just continue on, and if you notice your mind is wandering a lot more, don't worry about it. Just keep refocusing back and start again. It's not failure to start again. And now we're going to move into probably the most difficult part of the loving kindness practice, in which I invite you now to try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way possible someone from the present or your past that you might have had a hard or a difficult time getting along with. Someone who might have hurt you, used you, wronged you in some type of way. Someone with whom you've had conflict. Now, if by chance any of you are joining us for the first time or still new to the loving kindness meditation, then it's often recommended you don't pick the most hated or most difficult person in your life. It's recommended you start with someone who's just a bit more of a mild irritation, someone who just maybe knows how to push your buttons and annoy you, but one that it's not the most hated or difficult person, because we don't want to be too overwhelmed by this. We just want to notice how it feels with the person of difficulty. Someone who might have wronged us. And now we offer our loving kindness to them. In the exact same way, you can just think of this person and say, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. Or if you wish, you can insert the person's name into the statements. And as we're exploring ourselves, we may notice that there's a little voice in the back of our heads for some of us that's saying, I really don't wish this for this person. This person has hurt me or harmed me and wronged me. And the default state of our mind is when we're wronged, or someone acts unkindly towards us, we often respond or react unkindly towards them. And we want to break that pattern. We also begin to see, though, that through this practice, we realize all beings are searching for love, happiness, peace. And so we recognize that that's a thread that binds all of humanity together, is that search for these things. And when someone's acting badly or unkindly towards us, it's often they're coming from a place of hurt and pain themselves. And so this practice allows us the opportunity to recognize that change is possible. Even though we might not fully wish this for this person, and maybe we're feeling angry or upset by thinking about what this person might have done to us, that we can change our heart. It doesn't mean we allow whatever happened to us or paper over it like it was okay. We just recognize that we're not going to carry around any baggage with it anymore. And so this can become a very liberating part of the practice, in which we truly cultivate an unconditional love and switch it from a conditional love. It's a part of the practice where we truly learn to love thy enemies, not just those who love us. And so even if it just seems mechanical right now, just continue on. Your heart will open in time. And this might be a part of the practice where it will be helpful to try and put a smile on your face as you're doing it. And now we're going to move on to the final part of our practice, in which we send out loving kindness now to all beings, to all life everywhere in this universe. And so for this final part of this, please just try to think about all beings everywhere, all life. When we say all beings, we don't only mean, human beings. We actually mean anything with life in it, animals, plants, and everything else. And now think of all life within the universe and just silently repeat, or again, if you're alone, you could softly whisper and recite these statements after me. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be peaceful. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy, and may all beings be peaceful. And now please take these final moments of our meditation to sincerely and wholeheartedly offer your loving kindness now to all beings, to all life everywhere in this universe, but just continuing to silently offer them those well wishes. And there are couple little tips that I give at this point just to maybe make it a little bit easier for some of you. Some people find it hard to think about all beings everywhere. And so what you could do is, while you're practicing, you can incorporate a couple of little visualizations. One is that you could just think of your family and friends like sitting around you in a circle, and then behind them an infinite sea of faces and beings everywhere. And as you're saying this, you could just think about sending out energy towards all of that and all of them. Or another little trick is to think of yourself as a radio transmitter, sending out waves of energy in all directions. So when you say, may all beings be loved, you would send out a colored wave of energy for whatever symbolizes love to you, maybe like a red heart or something, or just a red wave of energy. And so you send out a red wave of energy in all directions, moving away from you when you say, may all beings be loved. Then when you say, may all beings be happy, send out a happy colored energy in all directions. May all beings be healthy, send out a healing colored energy in all directions. And when you say, may all beings be peaceful, send out a peaceful wave of energy in all directions. And see how that feels for you. For some of you, the visualization might be a little bit more distracting, so that's okay. You don't have to utilize it. I just offer these as tools. Might be helpful to some, but not all. So otherwise, you could just sit and continue just thinking about all beings everywhere and say, may all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be peaceful. And no matter how many times the mind may wander, just gently and lovingly come back, center yourself, refocus on all beings everywhere, and then just start again. Don't worry about where you wandered in the statements. Just start from the beginning. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be peaceful. Our meditation has come to its end.